Hi folks, this is the control panel and heating hot water demonstration of our 2-berth fixed bed camper van. So on this control panel is dead simple. Top one turns it on and off, so that'll be on, may as well leave that on. The next one down, that tells you how much power is in your leisure battery. So there's 2 leisure batteries in this. It also has solar panels. So providing that stops over 12 volts, really, you're alright. That's the van battery, sorry. So let's do it again. So it flicks over onto the van battery. So that's your leisure battery. So as long as that stops over 12 volt, you don't need to be plugging into electrical up if you're out off-grid camping. But if it starts going below 12, then you need to be charging the van up. As you've just seen, you can flick it over. That's the actual van battery itself. You shouldn't need to worry about that. And that's just an outside temperature. Bottom one, that tells you how much water is in the fresh water tank. So at the moment it's 90% full. If that starts getting down to low 30%, then you need to be filling the tank up. It also gives you a gauge at the top, so that one's your van battery. And the one opposite, that one there. So that also tells you how much your fresh water is. Temperature gauge again. The next ones, say 12 volt, I'll not turn that off. That supplies all your 12 volt power to your lighting and everything else in the van. Bottom middle one, that one. So that's your water pump. So to provide pressure to your taps, you need to have that turned on. Turn it off when not in use. It's a bit of a safety precaution, really, with all the water systems being located inside the van. If you do spring a leak or anything like that, with the water pump on, it'll just flood the van. If you turn the water pump off, that can't happen. So all you need to do is turn it on when you're going to use the shower or the sinks or the toilet, and then turn it off after use. The bottom one, that one there, that is literally just the exterior light above the sliding door. So sorry about the video, I can't really get the lighting right. So they say the bottom one on the right is just for the exterior external light. Other than that, that's all that panel does. I'll carry on to the hot water and heating. So the heating hot water, this is this panel. When you're plugged into electrical cup, that sign there, a little plug sign, is indicating that you've got electricity supply 240 volt into your van. So what you do, you press the little centre button and it gives you several options. First thing to do is scroll across to that one, the third one, and press enter. So this gives you option whether you want it on gas, mix 1, mix 2, you don't need them, electric 1 or electric 2. So if you're plugged into electric, you may as well use the electric on the campsite. So set this to electric 2, just like that, press enter. So now you've selected your source, you can scroll across to the camper van. This is for your heating, so press enter, currently off. Set your temperature, so I'll just demonstrate it up to 30 degrees. Press enter. So that puts your heating on. So what it's saying is, you're on electric, your heating's on, that'll start flashing in a minute when it turns on. And your fan, so your fan setting, scroll across to your fan setting, you can have several different ones. So there's eco, so just ticking over at night time, high, or after the heater has started to up, there is a boost setting as well. There you go, there's a boost setting. So I normally set it on high to get the van warm first. Now this will literally take 10 minutes to get this van warm. They're an insulated box, so once it's warm, go to your flashing camper van, set your temperature to wherever you want to, where you feel comfortable. say 18, and the blown air heating will kick in and out at 18 degrees C. As I say, if you're using the van at night time and you want to leave the heating on if it's chilly outside, just set it to eco, let the heating tick over, that'll be more than enough. If you've got the heating on, it also warms up the hot water at the same time. You don't need to put a separate setting on. So it takes about 25 minutes on gas to heat up hot water, a little bit longer on electric. And as I say, when I just was talking about the shower earlier in the other video, that gives you about 13 litres of hot water. Not a combi boiler, it's just like a big kettle. So once you've used that hot water, you then need to wait for it to warm up again. So what we'll do, we'll just turn the heating off. So scroll it down, off. So the heating's off now. If you just want to use the hot water, scroll across to that water one, flashing, look, press enter. Right, so it's off at the moment. Got 3 or 4 different settings. So you've got boost, which you won't need, that's really, really hot. You've got hot, and you've got eco. Put it on to hot and press enter. So what it'll do, that'll start flashing. Once the hot water starts going, when that symbol in the top stops flashing, that means you've got a full tank of hot water. There you go, just started flashing. So as I say, on gas, it'll probably take about 25 minutes, a bit longer on electric. And then say once it stops flashing, you've got hot water. To turn it off, scroll across, turn it off, job done. So if everything's off, nothing is in that control panel. If you're not on electrical cup, set it to gas and use the gas setting. Now in the winter time, the heater will use quite a bit of gas. It also has a 12-volt fan pushing the air around the camper van. So just be cautious of how much you use it if you're not plugged into electrical cup. The van really with 2 leisure batteries should last at least 3 nights. 2 to 3 nights without electrical cup. But as I said on the top gauge, keep an eye on your leisure battery power. If that drops down towards 12, then you need to be plugged into electric. While ever the van's running, that also charges the leisure battery as well. So, if for any reason you get a triangle come up in the middle there, a black solid triangle, that means there's a fault. Now, 99.9% of the time, a fault occurs if you've done something wrong. So, say if you've had it set on electric and tried to start the heater or the hot water and you're not plugged into electrical, it'll show a fault code. Best thing for me to do is, if you get into that situation, is contact me with the fault code, and then I can run through resetting the heater with you. As I say, it doesn't happen very often, but normally it's a case of it's user error more than anything else. So that's them two covered. Just a couple of things I missed on the interior video. While ever you're driving, do not drive with any of the rear windows open or the roof skylights. So just remember that. And other than that, we really do hope you enjoy your camper van or motorhome hire with us. And if you have any issues while you're out on hire, you can contact us at any point and we'll guide you through resolving any issues you may have.